Number 1. Female cop gets owned by a young boy. On July 4th, 2019, YouTuber and First Amendment auditor Christopher B. Derstadt was conducting a First Amendment audit on a public sidewalk outside the Mendota Lutheran home in Mendota, Illinois, when he was contacted by Officer Holland of the Mendota Police Department. The MPD had received a complaint from the residents of the Lutheran home that Mr. Stat was trying to film the inside of the building from the outside.
Chris, stop walking. Stop. What is going on? Why are you recording? Chris, stop.
Officer Holland inquired from Mr. Stat about why he was reporting the nursing home. She told Mr. Stat that she had received complaints about his actions.
What is going on? Chris,
please let me go.
No, I need to find out what's going on. You're upsetting the people who work here. So stop.
I'm gonna go.
I'm ordering you to stop. So stop.
You work for me, I don't work for you.
Well, I work for the public who called me here because of the actions.
Did I do anything illegal?
You're upsetting the people who live here.
Did I do anything illegal?
Officer Holland informed Mr. Stat that his actions were upsetting the residents of the nursing home. However, Mr. Stat repeatedly inquired whether his actions were illegal and asked the officer to let him go.
I don't answer questions. Definitely not to you.
Disorderly conduct, Chris.
Disorderly conduct how?
You're alarming and disturbing the people who
Am I allowed to photograph on the sidewalk or no?
Officer Holland threatened to put Mr. Stat in handcuffs, to which he replied,
Look,
I'm going to put you in handcuffs if you don't stop.
You could put me in handcuffs.
Okay, then stop.
No, you could put me in handcuffs. This isn't legal.
Stop.
This is not legal.
What are you doing?
This is not legal.
Chris?
This is not legal. I'm going about my day.
I'm detaining you until I can find out what you're doing and why you're doing this.
This is illegal. That's a Terry stop.
I'm detaining you.
That's a Terry stop.
Put your phone down.
Sergeant Stewart arrives on the scene and inquires from Mr. Stat why he was photographing near the nursing home.
Hey, can I not
can
photograph on the sidewalk?
They were concerned that you were photographing residents inside.
No, there wasn't.
You weren't? No. You just photographing.
Look, all these blinds are closed, yeah?
Along here? I don't know if they are or not.
Go look at them. All right.
Sergeant Stewart explains to Mr. Stat why he was detained.
You really want to go that route?
What crime?
We're investigating somebody acting in a disorderly manner.
How?
You're video recording a nursing home and you were upsetting the residents.
On the sidewalk.
We didn't know that. Don't we have to talk about it?
Photography on the sidewalk.
Okay.
Do I have to answer questions to that? No, I don't.
Wow.
Do I?
Where'd you get your law degree, man?
Do I?
Mr. Stat told Sergeant Stewart his side of the story.
The only reason I came here and photographed was because I knew it was within my rights.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, if that's all you were doing, but if you're videotaping and taking pictures of people inside there, that's a different story. Or if you're going on their property acting in a disorderly manner, that's your problem to deal with.
Officer Holland returned with a staff member of the nursing facility and informed Mr. Stat that he was under arrest for disorderly conduct. Sergeant Stewart escorted Mr. Stat to the patrol car. Officer Holland explained to Sergeant Stewart exactly what Mr. Stat was doing.
So he's walking by videotaping the building?
Videotaping the building. He's like zooming in on the windows, zooming
that's,
in on the doors. I know.
It's not illegal to do that.
I explained to them what's going on, and they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I don't know what he's doing.
Okay, but time out. That's not illegal to do that.
Okay.
So he's not acting in a disorderly manner if he's on the sidewalk walking by videotaping the outside of the building.
Okay.
That's the problem we have.
Yeah, and they were disturbed by his actions once they found out what was going on.
This is where the story takes a twist. Sergeant Stewart explained to Officer Holland that Mr. Stat's actions were, in fact, not illegal, and he could not be charged with disorderly conduct.
How are they? They're disturbed that he's walking on the sidewalk videotaping?
They were concerned because they don't know his mental state. They don't know what he was doing. And I told him I can't.
Well, he wasn't, I mean, other than not obeying you, which is a no-no, which, I mean, that is what it is, but as far as walking by with a video camera.
After Sergeant Stewart intervenes, Officer Holland uncuffs Mr. Stat. After a calm conversation with the sergeant, he is released, and the officers leave the scene without further incident. Thankfully, the sergeant in this case held his own officer accountable for their actions. But that's not always the case, as we'll see in our next story, where a female cop almost caused a three-way collision because of her reckless driving. Number 2, female cop gets owned by a knowledgeable citizen. After his arrest gained widespread attention, a local man Demetrius Kern, has taken a significant step towards seeking justice. Kern is now challenging the Cleveland Heights Police Department and the officers involved in his September 2022 arrest. Kern's encounter with a Cleveland Heights police officer whom he accused of reckless driving led to his arrest. However, he is now pushing back through a federal lawsuit, which was filed on his behalf by attorneys Christopher Weist and Thomas Burns on July 7, 2023. The incident unfolded on September 22, 2022, when Demetrius Kern was driving along Mayfield Road in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Officer Carly Lewis from the Cleveland Heights Police Department initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle in front of Kern's car, nearly causing a three-way collision. Kern pulled over behind Officer Lewis and stopped the vehicle to engage her in a conversation about her driving.
I apologize.
You almost ran me off the road.
I initiated my lights and sirens.
I didn't hear anything.
What, was your music on? Because I had the lights and sirens on, sir.
You apologize.
I apologize.
You're wrong.
He stopped
I'm gonna
abruptly.
let it go.
Okay, I'm not wrong. Because he stopped abruptly, causing me to stop
And I almost
abruptly,
caused an
causing
accident.
you to stop abruptly.
Right.
And I apologize for that. However, the lights and sirens were on.
Tensions between the parties involved started to rise during the encounter.
Something wrong, and you actually
Yeah.
did it. All you say, my bad. I'm
And I
sorry.
did. I just
And
said,
keep going.
I said my bad. I said I activated a I initiated a traffic stop in a marked vehicle with lights and sirens.
Right.
If you didn't hear the sirens or see the lights, I
mean, you called back up for your safety, but
Well, you don't pull up behind an officer on a traffic stop.
The situation intensified as Sergeant Naphtali Wolf entered the dispute.
What you're doing right now is against the
you
law.
almost ran me off the road.
Okay, well then you should have pulled over for lights and sirens. She said it on the radio that you didn't yield, and it's on dash cam. I'm assuming.
This the disconnect, man.
Sir,
I'll tell you what. Let her finish her business, and then we can sit down and talk like
we're
adults.
good. I'm gonna let him go.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. What was your last name?
My last name?
Yeah.
Why you need my last name?
Because I'm asking who I'm talking to. You asked me who you were talking to.
You're not, well, not now you're going to be under arrest because what you're doing is illegal.
Listen.
What you're doing is illegal. I can charge you for interfering with
Just give me your last name.
Why?
Because I'm conducting business with you right now.
Be an attorney. Where my friend?
you want to be.
10-4, that's not
That's
going
not
to
how
be
it
the
works.
drive.
What's your RS?
Stand by.
What's your reasonable articulate
Okay.
suspicion of my crime?
I'm going to get rid of him.
Hold on. I'll explain to you.
Officer Lewis requested Mr. Kern's ID, but he declined to provide it.
You know how society is. I know how society
Open the
is.
door.
Now listen.
Right.
I'm asking you to identify yourself so I can let my dispatcher know who I'm out with. If you don't identify yourself, that is obstruction. You are the one that came
Obstruction
out.
is a secondary crime.
It's
What crime did I commit?
There's no crime, but I'm
So there's no crime, I
I'm
don't need to
identifying you. Okay.
Due to his continued refusal to identify himself, the officers proceeded to arrest Mr. Kern on charges of obstruction.
Because I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Listen, just all you have to do.
I don't have my ID with me.
Okay, what's your cell?
That's all we asked for. For what?
Because I need to let my dispatcher know. It's not a big. What's your last name,
With
sir?
you, Kern, man.
Kern?
You know what happened. Why are you letting him
Listen,
do this?
he's a sergeant.
He's violating my rights.
He is not. He
here, have a
didn't
seat. We're gonna give you a
identify
ticket when we
yourself.
send-
Sergeant Wolf directed Officer Lewis to issue Mr. Kern a citation for obstruction.
Your ticket for interfering with the traffic.
How did I interfere? She almost ran me off the road.
And you could have pulled off and waited and called.
I did wait when she said wait.
You were out here talking to her. Have a seat.
Mr. Kern, just
Don't
have.
push me,
Have
man.
a seat.
Why are you so full of machismo, man?
Dude, have a seat. I'm not putting up with your bull, okay? Have a seat.
What's wrong with you, man?
Have a
I'm
seat.
sitting down.
All the way in.
The lawsuit raises significant concerns regarding the conduct of the officers during Mr. Kern's arrest. Attorney Burns emphasizes their belief that the situation needlessly escalated and alleges that racial factors played a substantial role in this regrettable incident. They contend that Mr. Kern's constitutional rights were infringed due to racial bias. What's noteworthy is that the lawsuit goes beyond singling out individual officers. The lawyers have filed a Monell claim, indicating the possibility of systemic issues within the city of Cleveland Heights. This means they're holding the city itself responsible for potential problems within its police department. City officials have recently received the lawsuit and are currently examining its contents. Their response is expected to be made public in the near future. In response to the incident and the viral video, the mayor of Cleveland Heights took action by establishing a bureau within the department. This bureau's purpose is to address citizen complaints and formalize accountability, a step aimed at preventing such situations in the future. The attorneys argue that holding officers accountable is essential to maintain public trust and to support those officers who genuinely uphold the Constitution. They contend that incidents like this one can make the job more perilous for the officers who faithfully carry out their duties. Until now, there's been no news of the city's response to the lawsuit. If you want to watch more videos of female cops getting owned, then please subscribe to the channel.